The delivery of news is a national health crisis, a communicable disease. It heightens our anxieties. It turns disagreement into blood sport. It censors home truths without which news is nothing but a hazmat dump. But which home truths? Let's start with war, our main industry. If we keep on spending more than half the federal tax dollar on defense, we're bound to look for wars to feed the beast. And once we're in those wars, what do we ever hear about who profits from them, and by how much? And how much of their profits goes to buy votes in Congress and influence over the media? Or take the monthly employment figures. What do they really tell us? Very little, because they don't mention wages or benefits or job security. The news, as corporate America defines it, would have us believe that Washington is the be-all and the end-all of our lives, where the real action is. But we know that's not true, because we're living where the action is. The bogus news we're fed would have us believe that Joe Manchin and Jim Jordan and all the other juvenile delinquents feeding at the public trough, which we fill with our sweat and blood, are more important than the farmer down the road, or the artist next door, or the single mom raising her children on a frozen salary. The news would have us believe politics is a samurai video game or a gladiatorial spectacle, not the ongoing effort of men and women of goodwill to make our lives better. Why is the news a shooting gallery on the Potomac? It's because our consolidated and corporatized press are hiding a swindler's secret. They have killed community and regional journalism to give us Washington as a spectacle, a rogues gallery of talking heads, because it's infinitely cheaper than covering the real America, taking place on Main Street and in town and city and county offices. The yak of shallow self-seekers like Lindsey Graham, endlessly recycled expertise from the same old faces, puts money into the pockets of the fat cats who own the press, while bringing down the curtain on the real America in which we live. If we lived our lives as the bloody sports spectacle we see from Washington, our society would break down under our feet. We simply can't treat each other as we see the press portraying the way our politicians conduct themselves. And that should send an ineradicable signal to us that something is terribly false, terribly wrong about the way news is delivered and interpreted. News should enlighten us, not incite us. News should not set us at each other's throats. The delivery of news is corroding and sickening our society. It's setting us against each other in the service of ratings. It's sabotaging our confidence in government. At the same time, it's encouraging politicians to behave like professional wrestlers. The media are as responsible as Donald Trump for the them and us mentality that is now tearing the American experiment in democratic government apart. Profit's one thing, unbridled greed is another. If capitalism can't hold greed in check, democracy can't breathe.